Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to another Unbounded Artistry podcast. We're sorry we missed you last week, but life got a little chaotic and we just weren't able to find time to record a podcast because sometimes they are quite time consuming.
Yes.
But here we are this week and we have a very interesting topic for you.
Yes, so we're going to be talking about trending topics and influencers.
So, trending topics on YouTube and social media influencers.
Yes.
How shall we get started?
Well, what are some of the trending topics?
So one thing we noticed when we're just, relaxing and watching YouTube, because as YouTubers, we just love watching YouTube. Uh, the big trend right now that we've noticed is minimalism and also assumptions.
Yeah. Obnoxious.
Yeah, I feel like there are people that are true minimalists and they really try to live that lifestyle, which I can totally get behind. I am totally fine with that. But then I feel like there's other people that are just hopping on this train and just saying you know what, I am a minimalist too, which I don't think they really are. And that kind of to me is just kind of frustrating. Even though I'm not in that kind of movement or ideology at all. I just feel like they're just taking advantage of something that's popular and trying to use it to gain more momentum for their channel, which I don't think is correct.
Yeah, they're taking advantage of that as a keyword or a hashtag or whatever, and they're just trying to get the views, and it's really obnoxious, and I feel like it's diluting what the whole purpose of whatever that movement is supposed to be. Owning 15 of the same shirts to me is not being a minimalist. That's just being lazy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're wearing the same amount of clothing and it's just all the same, I feel like that's not really true to what minimalist is because you still own 15 shirts. To me, I can go and pick out an outfit in the morning in under 10 seconds. I don't really put any thought into it. I don't really try to match anything. I just, grab something and just throw it on. Anything that's clean, it's good to go.
Yeah. Some people are really into okay, this has to go with this and whatever. However you want to do your fashion, fine. But for the people that are trying to say that they're minimalist because they own the same item multiple times and they don't have to think about what they're wearing is stupid to me. I don't get, that doesn't make for a reason to call yourself a minimalist because you can own 15 different colored shirts and still take the same amount of time to get dressed. It just doesn't make sense.
You still own the same amount of the item, so 15 black shirts or 15 multicolor shirts, it's still 15 shirts.
Yeah. Or the people that are I'm a minimalist, but everything that I own costs over $1,000. That's not being a minimalist. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think they missed the point on that one.
Yeah, a little bit. So, I mean, just because you have less of something or have condensed something, but it's something super expensive, I just feel like that defeats the purpose of being a minimalist.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding it. I don't know, but
I don't know. I feel like there are definitely people on YouTube that are true to being a minimalist, and I can totally respect that.
Yeah, but I just feel like a lot of people are oh, this is trending, so now I'm going to do something with this word in my title or whatever, and it's...
Yeah, because they know that's being highly searched and highly sought after, and they're like, you know what? In order to grow my audience, I need to get a part of this too.
Yeah.
Even though they're really not, and it's just that's kind of how trends are in general on YouTube.
I mean, I feel like we do stuff because we think it's fun or funny or whatever, like the hot pepper challenge that we did and stuff like that, just because we wanted to experience it and we thought it would be fun. But for us to jump on trends, sure, maybe that'll get you initially a bunch of views or whatever sometimes, but that's not the audience that you're trying to attract. So why do that? It doesn't make sense to me. If I want people to come and be part of our community that we're starting to build or our channels and the podcast and stuff like that, I want people that are actually engaged and people that actually are interested in what we actually have to offer, not just a trending thing. That's not something that's long lasting or standing, and I don't really care for it.
Kind of the other thing on that that's kind of a little bit of a tangent is that people that do like giveaways and stuff like that,
Oh
like
yeah.
that is like something else that just kind of infuriates me a little bit because it's just like in order to get your viewers, you have to give them stuff. Like I feel like that totally defeats the purpose.
I mean, it depends on what you're giving them. Like if you're giving them content that they're enjoying, if you're giving them like say you're a creator and you're giving them pieces of your work, like your art or whatever it is, that's different than like, I have a $25 gift card and if you're the 15th comment below or whatever, you're going to get this. Like to me, that's just garbage. Like, why are you trying to bribe somebody to be part of your channel? And to be part of like the community that you're in? I feel like it's just, depending on how it's presented, it's just sketchy. Like I just don't believe in it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like some channels just live off of that.
Yeah.
Like you feel like every video they're doing like a giveaway of something, and it's just like at that point, do you actually have a community? That's the question. Is like, is it a valid community, or are they just there for the free item?
Right. Yeah. And then like on that topic is like getting people to buy your items, like or the affiliate links and stuff like that, like the influencer piece of it, pushing somebody towards like a product and stuff like that, because a lot of these people that are doing the giveaways are being sponsored by a certain company, and then they're taking those free items that they get and like giving them away to people to increase their viewership and essentially to help their sponsor.
Yeah. I think one thing about the whole affiliate link and stuff like that and sponsorship is there's two ways that I've kind of seen it done. One is people are very clear about it, and I really appreciate when they're very open and honest about what they're, sponsored by and what they're promoting and kind of their beliefs about that product or item or company. Like, I feel like if it's something that they use on a regular basis, I'm okay with them being sponsored by that. It's kind of when people pick up stuff that's not really relevant to what they do on a day-to-day basis that kind of I start to question it. And there's also like a whole gray area too where it's not really a sponsorship, but it's something that they might have received from a company and they have no written kind of, you know, expectations for what they're going to do with that.
So
But
they say, we don't really
yeah,
know.
but they say like there's no expectations. They just received this free product. And but I think the gray area is that if you receive a free product, you're probably going to talk about it.
Yeah. I'm just like thinking about the stuff that we got from Southern Comfort.
Yeah, I know. I told you in the beginning I
I know.
wasn't comfortable talking about that because I feel like I don't want that to be like we're sponsored by Southern Comfort.
Yeah. So, like, for people that are not familiar, we did a video a little bit back where we were talking about customer service, and there was, we had purchased like those little bottles of like the Southern Comfort. They were two different colors. We posted something on Twitter, and then somebody from Southern Comfort actually reached out to us, gave an explanation. They were changing like manufacturers or something like that, and then they sent us a bunch of free stuff. So we did do a video on it and showed what they had sent us and just kind of talked about like how we appreciated them sending that to us without like asking for anything or anything like that, and like not asking us to like, we didn't know if they knew that we had a YouTube channel or anything like that, but it was just good customer service that they reached out to us, gave us an explanation, sent us some pretty nice stuff and things like that. But we were very like clear about it, like we have no affiliation with them, this is exactly how it happens and everything like that. But I can see how it can get into that weird gray area where like some companies are just sending you stuff and then you kind of feel like, oh, this is something I want to talk about because it's something that happened to me, but then it can get into that weird place where you're like, oh, this is actually a really great product and blah blah blah, and like you got it for free, so you're not taking into account what the price point of that product is.
We're not really sure what that clicking noise is, but we don't think it's good, so we apologize for that.
Sorry.
Yeah, and on top of that, I think there's just a lot of times where people aren't really sure about what their influence is on their whole community.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people that watch your content or follow your content, daily content or weekly content or anything, they're going to look up to you and they're going to want to try to replicate what you're doing or what you're using. So I think it really benefits the creator to really kind of take time to figure out what kind of impacts you're going to have down the line on your whole viewership.
And thinking about who your viewership is. And now that like YouTubers, basically the name influencer has become synonymous with a lot of the YouTubers, is because they're in the public eye a lot. They do have a lot of influence on who is watching their content. So really paying attention to who your audience is, like looking at the demographics, like is it younger people? Because a lot of the time it is. And if you're pushing like a certain product or something like that, you're pushing that person to want that product or to be like, hey mom, can you buy me this, or whatever it is. So just really being responsible with that kind of power that you have as an influencer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and an influencer is somebody that's kind of really established in like their particular genre, and they just have like a really like big following, and they're like are very like well established, so they have a big like influence on their whole viewership.
Yeah. There's like a lot of people that are like in the YouTube beauty community that have like affiliations with different makeup products, or people in like the film and photography fields. I don't know. There's just so many different like
Oh yeah,
little
there's
areas.
so many different like niches and stuff that anything can be considered a valid kind of category.
Yeah. I feel like for us, we kind of want to stay out of that. Like a lot of people are like, find your niche, like whatever. But for us, I think we just kind of want to be all over the place because we don't really want to be pigeonholed into like one thing.
Yeah, like I feel like we just have so many varied interests that I don't want to make one type of video over and over and over.
Yeah.
Because then I would get bored of it and I would be like, why am I even doing this?
Yeah, for sure.
And plus, we're like really like engulfed in so many different things. It'd be really hard to pick just one.
Yeah, so I don't think we're going to have that much of an issue as far as like companies, because I think a lot of the issue is that the companies are reaching out to these people because they know that they have that type of reach. So for companies to reach out to us, like we would have to kind of develop that little like niche market, and I don't know that we would do that. But if we were approached by a company, I wouldn't really want to. I mean, the dollar signs are probably really enticing, but I wouldn't want to go forward with that unless it was something I really like used already or something I really believed in. And also considering like the price point and who your audience is.
Mm-hmm. And then the other thing too, I think is important, is to figure out like if they're gonna allow you to kind of have your own spin on whatever you're trying to like be sponsored by, or if it's gonna be something that's scripted and you have to say exactly this and only this, and it has to be this length and time,
Yeah.
and this stuff has to be in the background and all those. Like I feel like that would be just not something that we would ever do, something like that.
Unless you had complete creative freedom and they just had to give you a thumbs up on it, I wouldn't want to do it, because there's a lot of people that I follow and I respect, whether it's on YouTube or on podcasts and things like that. And it's funny because like it's usually the same group of sponsors that are across like these platforms because they've just gotten into that market. And you hear people like scripting, like reading the script that was given to them because it's the same language that's used across a couple different podcasts or YouTube videos and stuff like that. And you're just like, oh no, not again. Like you too, like stop. Because like it's scripted because you've heard it on a different channel or something like that. That just gets really frustrating. I enjoy when, if there is a sponsorship, they're really open about it, and then when they do their spin of the commercial, it's in totally their own style.
Yeah, it just goes with the flow of everything that they're doing.
Yeah.
It just makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Like one thing that stands out to me, like when I listen to like the Jenna Julian podcast and how Julian just does those like
Oh yeah, the segues.
the
Oh
segues
man,
are
his
so
segues are
funny.
fire. Like, oh man, it's so
They're
good.
just really funny and he just does it in his own style. And of course, like yes, they're sponsored. They're very open about being sponsored, but just the way that they do it is totally in their own style. So, versus just reading a script.
Yeah. And before we get too far off track, let's go back to the assumptions.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit about that, but I think you know more about it than I do.
So basically, what I think kind of goes on is they write up a little Twitter post or social media post asking, like, what do you assume about me or us? And then people will respond. And then they'll take those responses and then respond to those. And I just feel like that's just kind of like, kind of running out of ideas almost.
Like you're kind of forcing it at that point.
Like, yeah, because like if you have to like, I mean, there are occasions where asking the community and stuff like that is great, but I just feel like this assumption video is just kind of like really reaching for like I need something to do this week. Like I don't think it's that interesting, to be honest. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I feel like if you were doing that kind of as like oh, I've been getting a lot of comments about this, so I want to address it, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's different.
yeah, if it was like naturally occurring rather than be like, I need you guys to write out what you guys assume about me. Or
Personally, I would rather see somebody do like the Reddit, like, roast me and then put the picture up. That's more entertaining.
yeah, those are always fun to read. Those people are very brave souls, by the way. Anybody that does that, oh man, you gotta have some really thick skin.
Yeah.
So I applaud you for that.
What's the other thing I notice a lot? People reading the hate comments. That's a big one.
Oh yeah.
Like, let me read my hate comments, and then they're just reading people's comments on their videos, and it's like, okay.
I think some people have a really funny twist on it, but some of them are just very like, oh, this is what they wrote, and okay.
Yeah.
But that's what happens with trends, is that most people kind of follow the same formula and it just dies off because people are like, oh, it's just one of those again, and then another trend pops up and it just kind of follows that same cycle. And I feel like if you just kind of just do your own thing, it'll kind of work out for you in the end.
I agree. Like, I think if you're just like hopping on trends and getting your views that way, that's not the viewership that you really want to have. You want people that are there because they enjoy what you do on a personal level, like, versus just jumping on whatever bandwagon.
Yeah, whatever is popular at that minute.
Yeah, for sure.
So what else do we got next?
I think like for the affiliate links,
Okay.
the people that, like, kind of similar, like what we were just saying, is like the people that are very upfront with the affiliations that they have and stuff like that. It just really irritates me when people put like a list of like 20 affiliate links on every single video, even if the video has nothing to do with what's in the links. It's so frustrating to me. It's like you're just trying to pitch something to people and trying to get them to buy stuff. And I understand that some of these YouTubers like are trying to make this their living, but I feel like there's a better way to approach it. Like, if you want to have a stream of revenue from your YouTube channel, I don't know that doing the sponsorships and the affiliate links is the best way to go. I understand, like, if you're speaking about a specific product or people have asked you about a specific thing that you do or you use, and you put a link to that and you get an affiliation from that and you get like that percentage or whatever it is, that's okay. But to have it listed out in every single video is just really pushing it. And like when you create like a certain product or something like that and then you're just pushing it over and over and over again, it's just really annoying and frustrating. And I just feel like one of those people where you walk into the store and they're like, can I help you with something?
Oh, yeah.
And then they're just like trying to push a product onto you. And that's like not the way that I want to feel when I'm watching a video. Like, I just want to, I'm there for the content, not for the sales pitch. If there's something that they have that they create or something like that and it's something I'm really into, I'm going to seek that out myself. Put a link to your website, put a link to your sales page, don't mention it. And like, I feel like people will find it if they want it.
Yeah, people will always click on the description to find out more information.
Yeah, like, I just feel like it's just too much and it's too much of a media overload when it just starts to feel like it did when I was watching TV. I don't watch TV anymore. I think a lot of our generation just doesn't really use TV. They're more into like the streaming, the YouTube.
Yeah, when you talk about TV, you're mentioning like cable and satellite TV.
Yeah, like that whole thing, like where there's like the tons of commercials and you're just influxed by like all of these ads and stuff like that. I got away from that because it was obnoxious. Like, I just want to watch my show. I don't want to be stopping every 15 minutes to get like a Charmin commercial.
Every 5.
Seriously, like I just, but like now it seems like that's just infiltrated its way into the podcast, into YouTube, into all of the stuff that I moved to get away from that stuff, and now it's just there, and it's really obnoxious.
Yeah, it's because corporations know where their audience is going. They're moving away from the, the cable TV, the satellite TV. They're moving to the streaming services, the free platforms for TV like Hulu, and you can do what else is free? I think there's other ones that are free too. It's like Sling TV, I think, might be free.
Maybe.
But like streaming services like that, and then you're also going to like platforms that have kind of other content as well. So you're moving to, if you want streaming music as well, and podcasts without ads, you can do that too. But that costs additional.
Right, you have to pay for it. The thing that really frustrated me, because I used to use Hulu, but then even if you're paying for Hulu, there's still ads. I thought I was paying so I didn't have to have ads. So I was like, we're done with you. I'm not watching that anymore. And then we eventually got rid of Netflix too. But I don't know if Netflix does ads.
Netflix, I think they tried to do ads for their own content, and it really didn't go over well, so they stopped it.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that period, like, a couple of years ago, where they did, like, little trailers for whatever new thing they were promoting.
Oh, right.
I don't know if they still do that kind of stuff now, but we kind of canceled our account, because we don't really watch a lot of Netflix. We're more on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, like, just now that there's so much just commercialism on YouTube now, like, and it's just the way that they stagger it now. Like, it used to be like, watch this video at the beginning, whatever. Now it's like right in the middle of the content, and I'm like, I feel like I'm watching TV again. Like, frustrating.
Yeah, we noticed that a lot lately. It was a lot of content people that make, or content producers, will put the video like smack dab in the middle. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like, okay, I get it, but at the same time, really.
Yeah. And it's funny because there's sometimes, like, when you pause the videos and you look at, like, the timeline, you can see all the little, like, pop-ups of, like, where the ad is.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some that, like, the video is, like, 10 minutes long and there's, like, 15 ads in there. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, I'm sorry, I'm getting, like, super worked up about it. Like, I'm just like, I can't tolerate it.
But thankfully, there are alternatives to the whole corporate thing, and it's called crowdfunding. So things like Patreon, where you're just supported by your community, and even YouTube now is getting into memberships where people can support your channel directly. So I think it's the best way to maintain your like integrity as a creator and not kind of fall into that trap of promoting things week to week or video to video. And it just keeps your content fresh and not repetitive, because nobody wants to hear week after week be like, oh yeah, check out this product, or buy this product, or check out the link below, buy this, or it just gets really old. Like, people just want to watch your content.
Yeah, it's just really frustrating. Or like the people that are like, oh, I have this giveaway, and I have this giveaway, and I have this giveaway. And some of the giveaways are really sketchy. Like, you have to, what was that one where you have to like sign up for something to be part of this giveaway?
Oh yeah, sometimes they make you sign up through like third-party companies that you don't even know anything about, and they need all your information. It's just like, why?
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense.
Like, I don't think I actually want to be a part of this because I have to give up so much information.
Yeah.
It's like, my chances of winning are probably not very good anyway. So basically what they're doing is just collecting your information.
Yeah.
And then how are they using that information? Are they sending it to other companies? Are they, like, you don't know what they're doing with it.
Yeah, it's just really frustrating and I feel like the people that are doing that are not researching it enough themselves before passing it on to their community. Because if I was giving a giveaway to people that are supporting me on a daily basis, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing this giveaway, you have to sign up through this company. Don't worry, I fully researched. This is what they need from you. This is why they're taking it, blah, blah, blah. Like, I wouldn't want, because then say something happens and their information gets leaked or something like that. They're going to look back to you as the person that basically got them in this, like, whatever, I don't even know what to say, whatever this third party is, and like got their information stolen or whatever it is. And it's like, you don't want that stuff to come back on you. Like, you have to be responsible with how you're referring people or what you're sending them to and all of that stuff. Like, you really have to think about the end user and the person on the other side.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So, one thing I want to bring up, something that we've been playing recently is Apex Legends. A little off topic, but still on topic. I just wanted to kind of shout them out because, first of all, it's a fun game to play. But the way that they kind of brought everything about was like they didn't even promote the game at all until like day of, which it released, and it released for free. And the only like transactions in the game are just like cosmetic transactions, so they're still making money for people that want to pay into the game to get like those cosmetic things, but everything else is free. And I feel like we were kind of talking about this before, where we think that this is where everything should be heading, is giving the content for free, and then kind of similar to like the Patreon and like the YouTube subscriptions, is like you get that extra content, but it doesn't actually impact the gameplay or impact like the content that you're initially there for.
Yeah, I think this is kind of how game developers are gonna kind of push the whole gaming vibe. I feel like they're trying to make it gaming as a service. So they're kind of focusing on the community. They're focusing on just getting feedback from them, and also giving them options to, help fund the whole creative process without impacting the gameplay. So instead of like back in the days when like Halo was first released, you would have to buy the different map packs, and if you didn't buy that, you couldn't play with your friends, and then you split the community and it's harder to find matches. They want to keep everything more cohesive so everyone can hop right in a match, get all the latest updates for that. But the only thing that's different is your character might not look the same, which I think a lot of people in the gaming community kind of look down on, is the microtransactions for cosmetics. But if somebody wants to like customize their character, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
It doesn't impact you in any way. If someone wants to buy a $10 skin, who cares? It's their choice. It's just like, would you rather spend $15 on a map pack every 3 months, or would you rather people buy cosmetics that they want to use?
Or when you had to pay for like the DLCs and stuff
that's what
like
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, the map packs that expanded like the multiplayer maps and stuff that if you didn't have, you couldn't play with your friends, and vice versa. It's just, I feel like overall this is the best way to handle that, is let people customize the characters however they want, and then everyone can have all the main content of the game at their hand.
It's not like pay to win. It's just for the cosmetic stuff. And the nice thing that they did is that there's 2 different types of currencies, so that they have like the currency that you pay for, and then the currency that you just get in game from playing. It will take you longer, but you're still able to buy those same customizations that the people that are paying for up front. So there's basically, they're paying to get content earlier, essentially. So I feel like that's definitely the way to go, because overall the experience is the same across the board, and then if you pay, you just get a little bit of an extra perk. And I feel like that's not just for gaming, but just for any kind of content creator that's out there, that should be how it should be. Like, you want to give the same level experience to all of your viewers, and then if they want to do those extra little things to support you, they can. And I think like the cost is something that you really have to consider too. Like, it ranges. Like, I think I was looking, and like you can spend like $5 up to like $100 for like the currency on the Apex Legends. And like, I think it's similar in Patreon, like you can do the tiers and stuff like that. So anybody can really support you if they want to. But a lot of the times when there's like these YouTubers and stuff, and they're like pushing a product and stuff, they're not thinking about the cost. Like, one thing that just really gets under my skin is when I hear YouTubers like pushing a certain product and they're like, yeah, this is like a DIY, it's a cheap fix, blah, 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 whatever. Or here's this really great piece of equipment that I bought and whatever, and it's really cheap and it's worth the price. And then they drop the price and it's like $500. Who is that cheap for? For you? Because it's not cheap for me. So like, I don't think they take into account the people that are watching and people that are living like paycheck to paycheck or whatever.
Which is definitely the majority of people. Like, yes. I don't think, most people will be like, no, I can't just drop $500 without putting it on a credit card, which
is a slippery slope. You don't want to do that either. So like, just taking those types of things into consideration, like just being a little bit more down to earth and remembering like what it's like for the person on the other end. Like, not everybody just has that money to just spend.
I mean, a lot of the viewers are also younger, so it's like they don't have full-time jobs yet. Yeah. It's like,
yeah. So, but I feel like this is definitely the way to go, doing like these like little extra perks for people and like having them in a range where it's affordable and like people can support you as they can.
Yeah, and the great thing about like the crowdfunding is that it's not mandatory. Nobody has to do it. It's their choice. They like your content, so they decide if they want to support you or not. It's not like something that they have to do.
Yeah. It's great. And especially when it's not being pushed on people. Like, if you're pushing it, that's a different thing where you're just like, oh, who's support me, blah, blah, blah. Like, stop it. Just like, there's a link. You can click it if you want to. Done. Like, stop trying to sell yourself.
Yeah, that can also be annoying too. And it's like every 5 minutes they mention like their Patreon or something. Like, that kind of can fall into the same kind of trap. But it just comes down to like just letting things happen naturally. So after like you announce that you have it and like you're starting it, like that would be like the main announcement. And then from then on, I would just put a link in the description. And if they find it, that's great. If they don't, so what? Like, I don't think I would mention it in every video I did. Like, that'd be the same thing where it's like an ad every 5 seconds.
Because I found, even for myself, like, there's people that I've supported right from the beginning, and then when they start going down that, like, path, and then they're just, like, ad after ad, or they keep mentioning the same thing, and, like, I'm selling this, or merch this, and merch that, and whatever, I stop watching. I just get so frustrated with it, and it's like I would have watched it, but like it just completely turns me off to watching their videos because I'm just like, I don't want to be sold something. It's like you're being chased down in a store, like, can I help you? I'm like, no, you can't. Get out of my face.
And then 5 seconds later, they're like, oh, do you need help with anything? Be like, no, I just want to browse. And then they come back around 2 minutes later. Are you sure there's nothing you want help with?
Yeah, and then you're like, and I'm leaving the store, I'll go shop online. Because, like, I can't stand it. It's so frustrating.
And the funny thing is, I actually worked in retail for a little bit. And believe it or not, that's actually something that they require their employees to do. And to me, as a shopper, like, I hate when I'm, like, interrupted.
Yeah.
Like, if I want help, I'll go seek somebody out and ask them.
It's perceived as good customer service, but I think that's another thing. There are people that are so far removed from like the actual process that they don't understand like how it actually impacts people in real life.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it is good customer service if you're like, hey, I'm here. If you need help with anything, let me know. Great. You're not like, do you need help with anything? They're coming into the store because they're shopping. Just be like, hey, if you need me, I'm over here. Let me know if you need help with anything. And then you're like, okay, thanks. And then you just continue on your way. You don't need to be like harassed the entire time.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how I feel like watching some of these videos or listening to these podcasts that have like an ad every 5 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, I can't listen to this anymore.
Yeah.
So that's just me. But
it's all opinion.
It's frustrating.
I mean, everyone's got their own opinion, so.
Yeah, this is just our opinion, but I think it's really obnoxious.
Yeah, I think the big thing is, too, is that, like I think we mentioned before, is just corporations know where all their viewers are now, so they're really pushing to have all their content move to those new platforms, so, like, they don't lose, like, their revenue in the stores and stuff like that, because the only way to sell stuff to people is to advertise, apparently.
Apparently. Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, I remember like growing up, like I'd look forward to like the Super Bowl for all the commercials and stuff, and then I were like, why am I looking forward to commercials? Like that just seems counterproductive to me. Like, why?
Because they try to make it so over the top, or they try to like make it very like entertainment focused when they do those Super Bowl commercials, because they want their product.
Oh, because they know that if they do a great commercial, it's going to be talked about by millions of people. But I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, why would I look for? Why would anybody look forward to a commercial? I feel like that's a thing.
It's not just you though. That's everybody. Yeah, like, oh, did you see the commercials? And I'm like, no, I didn't watch it. But everybody knew the Patriots were going to win. Who cares?
Yeah. I don't know. Like something just like hit me. I'm like, why? Why do I care what these commercials are? Like, what does that do? It's like, So, last few years I've not paid attention to any of them, and it just kind of doesn't even faze me anymore. Like, I don't even care what happened or who played or...
You know, speaking of like the commercials and stuff like that, one of the other things that frustrates me as like a business person is when we have, because we have like our YouTube page, and we have the Facebook page and all of that stuff, and Facebook especially just tries to push so many ads, not like at me, but like for me to push on other people as a business. So they're just like, do you want to have a business boost? So you pay this much money and we'll put all of these ads all over Facebook. And I'm like, no. And it won't let you get rid of it. And it just continuously pops up. And then it'll even come up in my feed. And it'll be like, this is what your ad would look like if we put it in. And it would just take like pictures out of like your Facebook page or whatever it is, and it would like put it into like an ad, and it would be something that if you paid for it would show up on people's feeds. And like, I get it, like I understand you're as a business, you need to kind of advertise yourself and stuff like that, but I just don't want to bombard people with what I'm doing. If I'm going to put content out, like we started putting more stuff on Instagram, but we're not putting ads on Instagram. We're just taking pictures, showing some of the stuff that we do when we're going out and taking photography, showing our pets, like just engaging with our community versus pushing products. Like, of course, if we're working on a cool project or something, yes, I'm going to share that, but it's not sharing it to push a product. It's not sharing it to be like there's some people that are just like, oh, there's like a discount on this service, and then they'll like just blast Facebook with all of their ads and stuff like that, and it drives me insane. Even if it's people that like I'm friends with and I support their businesses and stuff like that, but they are trying to do too much, and it's just like, I'm at the point where I'm about to delete your post because it's just blowing up my feed, and I can't, like, not delete their post, but what is it, where you can like
hide it from your page
so you don't even see it. Like, that's something that you have to take into account as like a creator, is that if you push your stuff too much, people are going to get so sick of you that they're going to completely ignore you, and they're not going to see anything that you have to offer.
Very true.
So I can't deal with it.
One of the many reasons why I don't use Facebook.
Yeah, I've really stopped using it as much. Very rarely will I go on there. Like, I'll just go and check like if there's any notifications or whatever, and I've kind of really moved away from that platform.
I think a lot of people have moved away. Not only that, but just there are a lot of stuff going on in the back end where a lot of stuff is being captured that shouldn't be, and they're not very clear about what they're doing with stuff, and so there's a lot of controversy with them right now.
Yeah, it's just sketchy. So I just feel like if you're going to advertise yourself as a business and a creator or whatever it is, you should be doing it in a way that is showing what you have to offer without pushing a product on somebody. So there's a really fine balance between doing that. Like, you want to give something to a person that they're going to benefit from. And if they find value in what you do, they're going to find a way to support you. So that's my 2 cents.
It's a very good 2 cents. Another thing I kind of wanted to touch on is not only are the advertisers coming over to YouTube, there's also just the corporations are just having just a presence on YouTube as their own channels. And I feel like YouTube really should take a minute and look at what made it successful in the first place versus what's making the money right now.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed, I've made a blog post about this in the past, where if you take the top 10 videos of just say a random day and you look through those, majority of them are going to be coming from established TV networks with late night or just like something like SNL, or you're going to have your pop singers or just the popular music videos, like their videos up there. You're going to have creators that are already established, well established, with millions of subscribers. They're going to be featured on there. The thing that's missing is the smaller creators that are going to be the next wave of what makes YouTube YouTube.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like that's the whole thing, is like YouTube is turning into something else. It's a lot more like TV shows and a lot more like the late night stuff and like clips from shows that you can find on TV because they want to entice you to go and watch it on there. And like I think like when you made that top 10 list, I think like maybe only one or two were actual YouTubers. Everybody else was just like corporate America something or other. So that's pretty sad, because I feel like the people that are successful now on YouTube came from, what did they used to have? What was it? Like the front page was just like a featured creator or something like that. And that's how they got like all of their view. And like now you don't see that. You just see like the trending page, and it's usually like late night stuff or just like really big. Like you very rarely will see anyone on there that's like with a low subscribership. Like you're not going to see like new people. Like I think you said that they're doing like an up and coming thing, but
I think
even those people have a ton of views.
Yeah, I think I read on Twitter that they want to really try to do like an up and coming section or something like that, creators on the rise or something like that. But it all depends on how they're going to approach that too.
Yeah.
Because if they set the threshold at like, 50,000 subscribers, that's still cutting out a huge amount of like channels that are still trying to work up like that like ladder to visibility.
Yeah. And it's funny because like when we are watching our videos on YouTube, like there are certain content creators that we watch, and their videos are really good. There's like really good quality, really good content, and they don't have the subscribers, they don't have the views, and it's surprising because I'm like, they're so good. Like they really deserve more views and more subscribers than what they currently have. And it's because of the visibility. They don't have it. Like they have it from us because we've sought those types of videos out and like that type of content out, but it's not something that's just going to pop up in your feed.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the other thing too. At least on Xbox, their app, not so good. Like the recommended videos are mostly just garbage. Like I don't know how they come up with it, but it's just like none of these I want to watch.
Yeah, like I don't understand like why they like what happened is in their algorithm that suggests these videos, but I'm like I don't want to see any of this stuff. Yeah. Like it's nothing that I'm interested in. But yeah. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, talk about the Apex Legends, that feature that they have.
Oh, this is kind of going off topic.
A little bit, but I feel like it's worth a mention.
Yeah, since we mentioned Apex Legends in the beginning, or in the middle, or at the end, I don't know where it fell.
We're somewhere in there.
We mentioned it. One thing I will say that I really appreciate about the game is that it's bringing some positivity back to gaming. It has a feature where you can mark locations or you can mark items or weapons and stuff like that for your teammates to find. And if they pick one of those up, they can actually say thank you, which I think is amazing. Yeah, the cat thinks it's great too. I think something that the community has been dealing with a very, very, very long time is just negativity. And I think they've been struggling with ways and how to bring positivity to gaming, and I think this is a great step in that direction.
Yeah, I agree. It's such a small thing, but it really makes a big difference because it tries to get rid of like that toxic environment that gamers have been trying to get out of for a while. And I think this is a really nice way for them to address it. And I think like when I see content creators thanking their audience, that makes a huge impact as well. And like you can tell when people are being genuine about it versus when they're just saying it to say it. So I feel like if you're genuine with your audience and you're really thankful for what they're doing for you, essentially, then they're going to want to support you even more. So, yes.
Yes. I definitely agree. So on that note, we thank you for watching this week. And you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or Stitcher.
Yes.
And if you want to watch, we are on YouTube. Just got to search Tealfish Studio because we don't have a custom URL yet.
Yes, we're not that popular yet. But yes, thanks again for listening or watching, and we will see you on the next one. And until then, we hope that your artistry is always unbounded. Bye.
Bye.